Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, and I'm helping you get healthy one bite at a time with all of my tips on how to stick to that healthy lifestyle. And I have the wonderful Justin with me.
Hey, Tony.
Hey.
How's the marathon training doing?
Oh, it's going. That's for another time. No, I'm starting to like running a little bit more the more that I'm doing it. But like any type of exercise, I think when you first start out, it takes time to adjust to.
Just for everyone out there, that's not what she just told me. She said she hates running.
No. I just love cross training, and it's just not what I'm used to. So I'm adjusting. Okay. There are some runs I love. Not every day do I love it, though.
Okay.
But anyways, so today I wanted to talk about using the hunger scale. I find this tip very, very helpful when you're trying to just be more mindful of what you're taking in, and if you're trying to either manage your weight or lose weight. It's really helpful to be in tune with your body and slow down a little bit and decide, okay, am I eating out of hunger or am I eating out of pleasure? And if it is out of pleasure, sometimes that's okay. Sometimes we don't have to always eat out of hunger. But most of the time we should be eating when we're genuinely hungry. And I just wanted to talk about like what hunger is and how we can even define it, because it's probably going to be different for everyone.
So the hunger scale is not like a sequel or like an offshoot of the Hunger Games?
No.
Okay, good.
No. So the hunger scale is just like any other like form of measurement. We're using like 1 through 10, right? 10 usually means like a lot of something, 1 meaning a little bit of something. So 10 would be you are absolutely starving, famished, which probably honestly in a developed country we're not even close to 10.
Sure.
So and 1 would be so. Oh wait, did I skip it? I meant the other way around.
It's all arbitrary.
Yeah,
it's arbitrary. Who cares?
I mean 10 meaning like you're so stuffed. Like you had too much. That makes more sense.
All right.
So 10
really doesn't matter.
Yeah, so meaning whatever your scale is, A, B, C, or D. No, 1 through 10. 10 being like you are so stuffed that you cannot move. You've eaten so much that literally you might actually started to throw up, which is definitely not what we want. And number 1 would be you're so hungry that probably, like I was saying before, like it's rare, but then again, not so rare if you just are, maybe you're sick or just not eating on a regular basis. That could be the actual, like the worst possible
like
hunger.
Locked in a dungeon hunger.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah. So that would be the extreme. But more realistic forms of hunger, I think we find on a more normal basis is people will often let themselves get to like a 3 or a 4. And then they find that they end up overeating as a result to it because they allow themselves to get too hungry. I know we've talked in the past about healthy snacking and how it's so important to have in between meals, because then you won't overeat in the long run, or hopefully that's the ultimate goal, is to not overeat. And then the flip side is if you're at like an 8 or a 9, you should probably put the fork down, right? You had what you had, you're feeling good, and now it's time to wait for your next meal and reassess your hunger scale in about 3 to 4 hours. Have you ever used that before?
I've used it as a as a sort of gauge without actually thinking about it. Mm-hmm. I generally feel my best when I'm not stuffed.
Right.
When I leave the table. So that was actually a sort of a goal of mine. Now, just for everyone out there, for me personally, it's actually very hard for me to be stuffed. If anyone's seen me eat, I can eat an amount that is just you for my body mass, you just wouldn't believe it. With that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean I always feel good afterwards, right?
Right.
So there is that sweet spot, and I sort of know it, right? I eat a lot, and I tell myself, nope, that was enough food. I don't, like, my something in my mind is saying eat more, but I just know I get that sense, I know, and that's sort of my version of the hunger scale thing. It was
perfect.
enough food.
That's the whole reason of bringing the attention to the listeners of the hunger scale is to get them to just pay more attention to their feelings of hunger and if they're actually hungry or not, and to never overeat and also never or try to overeat less and undereat less. So
now a tip with this, a lot of people say that psychologically, if you give yourself something sweet, now I don't mean eating a full piece of Junior's cheesecake after a meal, but maybe a small piece of chocolate or a piece of fruit or something like that actually helps you feel satisfied. Is there any truth to that?
I think it might be more psychological.
Well, even if it is psychological,
yeah,
is that okay?
Well, if it's a small,
when I say a small piece, I mean
like an actual, what the proper portion of like a slice of pie would be, or like, believe it or not, guys, sorry to break it to you, but a serving of ice cream is a half a cup, which is a half the size of your fist. Yeah. So, stuff like that, psychologically it might be able to like turn that off rather than you just keep thinking about it. But then the alternate side of it is it might stimulate your taste buds to want more of it. And then you eat out of not actually being hungry. So it really is dependent. But I think the takeaway is just to listen to your belly. If you genuinely feel like you're kind of retraining your metabolism and that you did eat enough, but for whatever reason you're still hungry, it might be the composition of what you're eating, or maybe drink a glass of water and maybe you're just thirsty, because sometimes we think we're hungry, we're actually just thirsty. So those are like little things that you can do. But I'm back on again. I'll be back on again soon to talk about more tips and tricks and how to commit to that healthy lifestyle and pay attention to your belly and using the hunger scale and more. So keep listening. Thank you for listening today. And as always, you're listening to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.